me, I run Dutch Craft Builders. We build houses and other concrete structures in the Terrenas area. And yeah, I invite you to come have a look at what we're gonna do today over here, because it's a nice big pour. We are pouring the floor of a villa, 250 square meter villa. And well, have a look, because I do it way different than most other contractors do, and so that this slab is gonna be sitting on the beams that you see here. So in between the beams I filled it up with landfill, but they are not there to hold the actual weight of the house. That is all going to be held by the beams, which are in turn are being supported by the columns and the footings that are 10 feet deep in the ground. You see, when I founded Dutch Craft Builders, it was basically because I saw so many basic flaws in construction. You know, having studied at the Technical University in Delft for 4 years, I know what to look for in concrete and in structures, and how to go about transferring the loads of a structure to the underlying ground. Now what I see here is that even in million-dollar villas, people would just build the house and they wait to the last to pour the floor. But that's not the way to do it. I was thinking, why did they do that? And I finally, at one moment in time, it's like a little light went off, because I was in somebody's house who was living there without the floor. Just they were sweeping like the caliche of the floor. It's because they used to that over here, like when they started working with concrete about 40 years ago maybe. People would build their house with little money, and they work as fast as possible want a roof over their head, so they can already start living, and then make up some more money along the time coming, and then when they get some money saved up, then they put in the floor. So that's the way that they can handle it, you know, because there's no mortgages for those people. But then I realized that's the same way they build all houses, because basically all the construction workers are of that same social level. There is not really like you would see in the States or in Europe, that you got specialized workers for this or for that. It's basically all yeah, pretty low-skilled labor. And they basically still do it as if they built their own house, because that's the way they do it. That's the way everybody does it, and nobody even thinks about it. And yeah, well, I do think about it. That's why over here we pour the floor of the house first, and the floor is going to be supported by the beams that you see in between the black areas. Those are beams that are connected to each other, that rest on top of columns, and each column is situated on a footing deep in the ground. So now, even if this moves or whatever, it doesn't matter, because this is only to support for one day the concrete when we pour it. After that, it will be a self-supporting structure on these beams. Now that's the same thing with the top that's going on here. It's going to be carried by the columns, not by the floor, by the columns. That's the way you do it, and that's the way we do it here. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. Now, another example of how we differentiate us from the rest is by the way we make our tubing. Like, I don't want any tube, whether it's a pressure line or a drainage line, to have direct contact with the concrete. because that can lead to unwanted stresses on the tube itself. That's why we use like a sleeve for each water line, so the water line is actually running free inside. This is going to be poured in, and now yeah, in this case this is going to be our central point for the hot water lines that run to each shower. The same thing with drainage. We make sure by wrapping this around the pipe that we don't have any direct contact between the concrete and the tubing. So there is no stresses, no forces being exerted on the tubing whatsoever. That's what you want, because you don't want any ruptured tubes. That's a big headache. So that's how you do that. So you might wonder, how would you make a big slab like this? How will you make it perfectly level? You know, it's pretty big, and you cannot just put a wire or a level on it. You gotta go the next step, so to say. That's why we use laser. We put a laser in the center of the construction. Now I do that in the dark because with the sunlight it's difficult to see, so I can't show you right now. But I put a laser in the center, and it marks my level all the way around. Now then I put like a little marking, like over here. I put them all around on each column. So now I'm sure that the whole slab is perfectly level. And that's nice. That's going to help you out when you afterwards need to put on your ceramics or natural stone, whatever. That you can do it with a nice thin layer. So one could say, well, that's all nice that all the borders are nice and laser level, but how are you going to make sure that the whole floor doesn't go like this when you're done with it? Well, I thought about that, and I run across this big aluminum. This is 20 feet. This is perfectly straight and lightweight, so we can put it from one marking to another. Now we got a trained crew to do this that knows how to work together, and then we can just slide it, and make sure that this aluminum really makes sure that it's perfectly straight.
What are you doing now?
Hey, yeah, we're building here a little opening in the floor, because in the design of this house there's going to be a little inside garden.
Oh.
So you have actually palm trees growing out of here, and then a little like a walkway around it. Yeah.
Nice.
We're going to have a light port in the ceiling so that it gets light, you know, to grow.
What's the umbrella for?
Yeah, that's work a little bit in the shade. The sun is beating down on us here in Las Terrenas.
What's that bottle of tequila doing over there?
Tequila? Where?
I'm just kidding. What happened?
So the concrete company just called me they're sending 32 cubic meters instead of the 33 I asked. I don't know why, but I told them, well, if we're short, you gotta send more. But I guess it's a logistics thing, you know, maybe 32 is directly divided over the trucks that they have, and then, yeah. So just gotta sign off for the amount of concrete that we got here. So this truck driver can leave, then the other one can come in. We got trying to get things rolling because we're pumping.
How many trucks you got coming today, Jamie?
It should be 4, but it could be 5. We'll see what the concrete gods have for us.
All right, cool.
So what you see they're doing is they first setting out the lines according to the laser markings that I made from the outside to the laser markings on each column. So that way they have one line. Once they got that, they fill up the rest of the area behind that. So that way you get the result that we're going for. I just love working. I can look for hours at people working. Isn't that beautiful?
Lovely.
So here at Dutch Craft Builders, we like to deliver the floors that we make as level as possible. Like that's why we use laser level. But it's not only because we like to have everything straight. It's actually for a purpose, because that way when you are going in the phase of finishing your home, it's actually way easier to just put the ceramics down or your coral stone or whatever you want to finish your floor with. If your floor is too wavy and it's not being paid attention to detail, they would do what's pretty common over here. They would put a pheno over your floor. So that's basically another floor over a floor just to make it nice and level. But you can do that all at once if you hire Dutch Craft Builders, you can. Now what you're seeing here is we are making our slab perfectly straight and level by using our laser markings, but also by using this big aluminum rod, because it's pretty important to have a really straight slab. That way, after you're done with it and you're going to put your tiling on there, it's just less work. I've seen plenty of construction where after the pouring of the floor, you need to get another crew in to just put another pheno, it's what they call it. It's basically like another floor on top of this floor, just to be able to make it straight and don't use as much as material to put the tiling in there. So yeah, if you want a straight floor, you hire Dutch Craft Builders. So this is what you get when you combine all together, like laser measuring, taking eye for detail, assisting the crew that comes with the pump truck, making it all come together with care, and this is what you get, a perfectly straight slab. So this is the result, ladies and gentlemen. A nice clean slab, straight as a whistle. See that? Now it's starting to stiffen up a little, and at the right exact time we'll have to wet it down to prevent well, what you call shrinkage crack. That is when concrete just dries out too fast, basically. Ain't that nice? Look. So we're done. It went actually pretty good, even though today the concrete came later than usual, but we could handle it. And they called me, they said, well, I ordered 33 cubic meters, and they said, well, we're gonna give you 32, but all right, but well, it happened out good. We used the little bit of waste that there was on the other side to make a walkway so we don't walk in the mud all the time. But the amount of concrete worked out just fine. You know, you don't want to pour a slab and be failing like 2 cubic meters, then yeah. How you gonna explain that? But no, that's not what we do at Dutch Craft Builders. Look at this. I mean, sometimes work just speaks for itself, you know.